Hey, what's up, folks? It's Brian, and we are back from Vegas. Um, you probably already know that we've been posting on Facebook and Instagram that we did get an award while we were there. There's the old saying that, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas unless you win an award. So it's cheesy, I know, I'm sorry. But I'm just so stoked that it still hasn't even hit home that how awesome this is. But I'm trying. These are beautiful awards, but they're hard to film. I wasn't prepared for that. But yeah, this was just really really cool. I was hemming and hawing about bringing this particular thing to the show. My good friend John Weber, James, and Mrs. BG were like, "This is something you really need to take and show off." So I thought, okay, we'll take it, see what kind of comments we get, and that kind of a thing. And lo and behold, we take home first place. So that was. I got to say thank you to those guys for twisting my arm and letting me, getting me to bring this. So that was just an amazing thing. We did have some trouble placing this on a table by the time we got there Friday afternoon. A lot of places were already full, jam-packed with, categories jam-packed. So we had to call a judge over to help us place this. And my friend Paul from Paul's Messy Bench is like, "It's a cast iron frying pan. You can probably make all the room you want." So it's like, it's option 2. Thank you, Paul. So that was a lot of fun to have received that award. I honestly thought it was all going to be about that dump truck. If I was going to put money on something, it was going to be that dump truck, and as it turns out, that didn't place. That's okay, because what did take first, second, third was some amazing scratch built stuff that was just like, oh my god. Okay, so you guys may have go right ahead. But I know I need to. I'm still proud of the work that I did. I still love that thing, and now I'm toying with the idea of taking it to Acme so the rest of you guys can check it out. So I was just mentioning that we were talking to Paul from Paul's Messy Bench, and we did get to hang out with several folks from the YouTube community, and we'll get to that in a moment. But I just want to first say thank you very much to Paul again for this awesome gift. He said he was digging through his stash and he came across this particular kit here. And he thought this might be a nice little thing for me because he knows that I am from the San Francisco Bay Area. And this is the Hawk San Francisco cable car. The box actually says from 1959. The instructions say it's from 1959. The artwork really looks like it's from 1959. And the Joker apparently is riding the cable car. But yeah, this is really special to us. This is actually molded in this green color here. It's not too different from this. And it looks like everything's there. He said somebody had started it, but it looks like the wheels were just actually pressed onto the axles. It says it's 1/4 scale. I'm thinking that's probably like, I don't know, 1/48. Maybe it's probably even in between scales technically. But yeah, thank you so much, Paul. This just means a lot to me. So again, wanted to let you know how much I appreciate that. So while we were walking around, we happened to bump into our friend Art Lasky. He was running a pretty successful looking table there at the vendor room, and I could not pass up buying some oil filters because apparently the kits I've been choosing recently have been lacking in the oil filter department. So I thought this is a nice find here. Decided to get those. And then I've always liked his colored resin XL coils. Even come with a little decal right there. And then I always like these guys. A lot of fun to put those on there. I always think those really help out the engine compartments. And that's something that I want to do more work on, is detailing engine compartments. And our buddy Chuck over at Chuck's Hobby Spot, we've been kind of talking to him a little bit. He's like, sure, I'll give you any pointers you need to have on that. So that's really kind of him to help us out there. We did also pick up this thing here, the Dead Center Drill Starter. Kurt from KH Models, we were hanging out with him for a while we were doing some shopping, and he said he picked up one of these, and it was well worth the money. How much was it? I don't remember. Honest to God, don't remember. There was no prices on it. But Art gave us a demonstration on how to use this. It's got such a fine tip to it. for styrene, he said if you drill a hole or poke a hole and don't like where it's at, you can do one right next to that hole and it won't slip into the original hole. So yes, we're still talking about drill bits. So he's like, this is the best type of thing for starting a hole that he's ever found. So I was sold on that. I've been noticing that I've been having some trouble with doing the wiring for the cylinder heads, getting those holes all aligned correctly and stuff like that. This I think will help us out. So that was specifically the reason I got that, was for doing engine wiring. Also if you want to do some bell cranks or something like that on your carburetors or whatever, that's probably going to be the best type of tool for that. Something else Art had was this really cool little guy here, the Tack Life Power Tools rotary tool. Not unlike the Dremels, but this guy's a little bit smaller and a little bit less power, so it doesn't have the rotational speed and torque that a regular Dremel would have. He did a demonstration for us where he had a cloth bit on the end of there, so he was doing some polishing. He just used regular Tamiya polishing compound, something that I started using recently. This is rechargeable through a USB cable, so it's really easy. It's tiny, it's nice and compact. Let's see if we can't remove this here. That came out nice and easily. It does come with this nice little parts bin. It does have a larger collet for using Dremel sized bits. So this one does have a smaller collet in it right now. That's the smaller one. But let me just show you something. Here's the standard Dremel Micro. So then here's the Tack Life. Nice, huh? Right? Pocket size. Nice and slow speed, so that we don't have to worry about burning through stuff or melting things or warping things. So can't wait to try this out on some upcoming projects. Matter of fact, I do need to polish up the paint on our Subaru STI WRX and do some work on that 41 Willys. So we'll be doing that with this guy. After we got done hanging out and talking to our friend Art, we went over to a table I always enjoy seeing at shows, Rhino Hobbies and Tools. They had this guy here, and this is a nice little vise. I've seen a lot of figure painters on YouTube using this particular thing. I think even HPI guy has one of these too. And I just love the fact that you can just pinch something in there with, however you want to, hold it in place, tighten it all up, and then you can just hold on to it and paint it, rotate it all around, and then maybe even just set it down for a little while if your hand gets tired or your eyes are too crossed or whatever. So I really like that, and for the price they were asking, 16 bucks, I was like, I'm all over that. So finally got one of those for the tool stash. All right, so that's it for tools. onto the spoils. While we were at Rhino's hobby table, he has all kinds of stuff, usually from Japan, Gundam, Macross, Robotech, Star Blazers, all the cool stuff. He had this guy, and I've always loved the VF1D Valkyrie. I did do a Battleroid version of this one a couple years ago. Different maker, different scale, but I always wanted the jet version of it. So here we finally got the jet version of it. This is the two-seater as opposed to the one-seater, single-seater fighter plane. So this is like the two-seater trainer, and I just love that color scheme. I always thought if I had a private jet, I'd have it painted in that color scheme. Well, won't be anytime soon, that's for sure. So after hanging out at Rhino's hobby table, we walked across the aisle to the Mobius table, where they had these on display. We're just going to back up a little bit. And it's the Battlestar Galactica Colonial Viper Mark 1. Man. He had the Mark II. I picked up the Mark II. I paid for that one, and I realized that the one he had on display was the Mark I, which is the one I really wanted. And I was like, can I swap? And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. So I swapped in kits. But I don't mind the Mark II. I like that also, but I really wanted the Mark I because this is the one that I grew up with. I mean, I even had a belt when I was in grade school. I think first grade, I had a belt with Battlestar Galactica scenes on it with Colonial Vipers shooting down, what are they, the Raiders? Cylon Raiders. So I was like, this is just so cool. Can't pass that up. 1/32 scale. I've never built a plane in that scale, or jet, or whatever you want to call it, in that scale before. So I'm looking forward to dealing with something of a little bit larger nature, see how that goes. Then we walked a zigzag across the aisle again and bumped into Steve from Cult TV Man. And that was a special treat there for me at that table because we actually met Lou from Aztec Dummy, a channel that I watch a lot of and really enjoy his videos, his video styles, his humor. It's just dad joke after dad joke. But they had this kit on the table that I just freaking love because I've been wanting one of these. I haven't seen. I honest to goodness have not seen one of these out in the wild. So seeing this at his table was just a treat. So I picked up this guy here, very very good price for it. And then I took it over to go pay for it. I was talking to Lou, and I'm like, "Hey, aren't you Lou?" He goes, "Well, indeed I am, sir." And I said, "Oh, that's awesome." And then I said the dumbest thing I've ever said in my life to somebody. I said, "You're much taller in person." And he's like, "I don't think anybody's ever told me that." And I said, "Well, you know, being a super tall guy myself, I have to let people know when they appear taller, when they're actually come across as being taller than they do on camera. So I thought I'd let you know." And he was like, "Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much." And then I told him how much I loved his channel. And then he you know, he's a regular human. He got a little shy. So I was like, okay, we'll just back off the fanboy and just make our purchases. But they also had the V'ger. So I went ahead and get this guy. I've been seeing it around town and stuff, and I thought I might as well go ahead and get it now because who knows, maybe they'll sell out, whatever. But they had both versions. This is the solid cast, or whatever you want to call it, and they also had the translucent style. I wasn't really into that because I'm not going to be lighting the ship up or anything, not anytime soon. So I thought I'd get this guy here, and Lou did a video today talking about how he's working on the masking for this type of thing. So I thought, well, maybe in the future we'll go back and revisit that whole starship lighting thing. That would be a good example to use. All right, so that's it for sci-fi and tools. Moving on to automobiles, the cars. That's what we want to see, the cars. So I was hanging out with Kurt from KH Model Works. Great guy. Really enjoyed our time that we spent together. Kurt and Craig from Up Modeler and my good friend Paul, we all went out to lunch together. Mrs. BG and I went to lunch together at the hotel. Real good time. And it was Saturday afternoon we did that, and it was like, you know what, let's just say our goodbyes now because I'm not sure if we're going to bump into each other later on. And it was a good thing we did that because we missed Craig. No, I take that back. We missed Kurt after the award ceremony. We got there late. We had gone out to dinner, me, Mrs. BG, and our good friend John Zleber. We'd gone out to dinner to a really nice restaurant, and then I was in contact with Kurt, and he was like, "You should get back." So I was like, okay. So we hustled back, but we couldn't find him in the crowd. We didn't want to search around while while they're trying to do the awards and stuff like that. So we just hung out in the back and then finished off the award ceremony. And then after that, we all ran to the model room to pick up our stuff on display. And we lost track of Kurt. We didn't get to say goodbye to him, but we have stayed in contact, so that was really cool. So while we were wandering around and stuff, we were at a particular table that had this guy, this Triumph TR8 monogram kit. This is a 1/24 scale. I have never seen one of these before. I was telling Kurt that I hadn't seen one before. And then he was like, "Well, what do you think that means?" And I said, I think that means I should probably get it. And he goes, "I think that's your answer." So we did. We picked it up. It's a cute kit. It's not like awesome or anything, but hey, you can never have enough Triumph model cars in your stash. So we went ahead and got that. And then at that same table, he had this guy here, which is the Oshima Celica or Celica, depending on where you are in the world. 1600 GT. This is the battery operated chassis. It's not too fancy at all. So this might actually be a really good contender for 2022 48-hour group build. So, oops. It's got the positionable wheels and all that kind of stuff. There's not, I mean, they only have the same picture on all the sides of the box. So, I mean, they're not too proud of it. But good price. Thought I would go ahead and pull the trigger on that one. And then Saturday we were kind of hanging out. A bunch of us guys was hanging out, and we were. Mrs. BG was like, "It's kind of funny how you have hey, you had all of your friends and stuff, and you guys were just all hanging out, just standing around talking and everything. She's like, that was so cool. She's part of the group too, so that was everybody's very welcoming to Mrs. BG, and that was just awesome. But yeah, this guy, the Hasegawa Kenwood Porsche 962C. I have a 956 or 9 956. Everybody's got 956. I have a different version of this one, but I just freaking love this livery. The red and the black, everything reminds me of the Nissan R390 that we had just done. So yeah, really, really cool. Awesome price. Last one the guy had on hand, he was telling me that these are out of print. They don't make them anymore. So I was like, cool. Does that mean the price is going to go up? He goes, no. It's, tag is what it is. So I was like, cool. I can work with. So a little surprised. We got back to the hotel room, opened it up, and took a look inside. I was like, oh, well, was not expecting that color. It is a very vibrant red. So there we go. Decals look like they're in great shape too, by the way. And that's it for the cars. We're going to move on to aircraft. Yes, aircraft. Here is the SPAD 13. Let me just make sure that's right. SPAD 13 Latte. Now, I have one of these kits in the stash, but I pilfered the landing gear and wheels for the eggplane build this last year, where we roll it and it makes the prop spin. And I was kind of lamenting doing that, so I saw this. I thought I went ahead and buy it because I have a decal pack in the stash for this particular model that was issued at the 2018 IPMS Nationals that were down here in Phoenix for a local World War I ace. So I don't have the decals handy right now, but I wanted to build that particular plane, and since I had stolen all the landing gear and stuff, I thought, oh, I'm never going to get a chance to do that again. But then when I saw this, I was like, okay, let's just correct that issue. And now for the coup de grace, the granddaddy of them all, this guy. Look at that guy, B-17G Flying Fortress. And this, I bought this because Mrs. BG wasn't around. I had money, and I'm not getting on an airplane. We just had to stuff it in the car. So yes, I know you can get these at the Hobby of Lobbies. Yes, I know that they have their little coupon deal or the sale of the week type of thing, or Double Taco Tuesday, or however they do their thing. But this guy had it on sale. He wanted $70 for this, and then I realized that it was actually over on the corner of the table with a bunch of pink tags on them that were all their sale prices, 25 bucks. I know you could probably get it for better with that 40% deal over at the lobby, whatever. But I thought, I'm here, he's here, I got money, let's just go ahead and buy it. Mrs. BG's not around to criticize the fact that I'm buying a plane and not a car, so let's go ahead and get it. This one is the current issue, the modern issue, where it has the one tree of black parts, black cast parts, because they, I think they're a little bit more detailed, a little bit, the machine guns that are on there, the wheels that are on there, they have the heavy set, like squishy wheels, like it's sitting, like it's fully loaded or something like that. And then it also has, I think it has like a bomb cart or something like that. It's not on any of the box art, but yeah, I wanted to get this because this marking and this stuff here, this is all from the exact same squadron that the local B-17 they have here at the CAV. That is the what is it? The Sentimental Journey. I don't know if she toured this last year or not, but she has been touring the country for the last, I don't know, couple decades, and it's a beautiful machine. I like going there watching them when they have the engine cowlings apart and everything like that. I go there and take as many photos as I can. So I know I've been inside the aircraft a couple of times already. I probably have to drop a few pounds before I try that again. But I mean, I've stood in the top turret. I've shimmied around the ball turret. There's no way I'm fitting in that. And then stood at the radio operator gunner station, and then poked my head into the cockpit and everything. And it's an impressive machine. I've always wanted this kit. It has most of the correct markings already with it, so all I need to do is come up with the Betty Grable for the sides, and then all the bombs, and then for the missions, and the movie camera decals. Now Kurt was telling me that it's very possible, since that's a very popular plane, that there is a decal set out there for that plane, and I'm like, cool, all right, that's awesome. I cannot wait to dig into this guy and build this. And then Mahler was like, "You're gonna have a hanging air museum like Charlie Mack?" I'm like, it's not a bad idea, but stuff doesn't survive on our porch very well when you have 80-mile-an-hour sustained winds and dust storms coming. I'd hate to put all the time and energy in building that thing and have it destroyed by the weather. All right, so there you have it, guys. I apologize about the length of this video. You see how much water I've had to drink while doing this. A lot of talking. I do want to say thank you very much to the new subscribers that we've picked up over the last few weeks. And I also want to say thank you very much for all the kind comments on Mrs. BG's video. She had an absolute blast doing that. She's hoping she can do more of that for us. I wasn't around for the filming of that. I was off with Kurt and Craig and Paul hitting up the vendor tables and stuff. She was off having a good time. I was off having a good time. I sat down and watched the video. She had me laughing through the whole thing. I had to add a couple little notes here and there about stuff, whether or not it was mine or Chuck's or something like that. But yeah, it was really fun to have her do that for us, and I think we will have her do that for us in the future. She has taken note of the constructive criticism that a couple of guys have left about zooming around too much and not staying on something long enough. And she said that she will actually try to do better in the future with that. But still, I think she did an amazing job nonetheless. All right, y'all, take it easy. We'll talk to you a little bit later on. We're going to get started on our buddy build with Craig for the 1978 Corvette. And then we're going to try and finish up the Aerovet and then get back on that Willys. So we got a lot going on. We'll talk to y'all a little bit later on. Bye now.